If you ever read a book about working together and then expected that to carry over into the rest of the day, you already know it usually doesn't happen that way. The story might go well, the children are engaged, but when it's time to actually work together, nothing really changes. You may have a group of children that are all doing the same thing, but it still feels disorganized. Everyone is moving, everyone is involved, but it's just not working smoothly. So in this video, I want to show you how to use a book like Swimming in a way that actually supports cooperation during the day, not just during the story. So when you read this book, the goal is not to teach a general idea of like teamwork. The goal is to help children notice how individuals move and function within a group. So instead of reading straight through, you're going to pause at a few key moments and guide what they're paying attention to. So in case you're unfamiliar, what happens in Swimming is a group of small fish learn how to move together so that they can stay safe. So instead of swimming around separately, they organize themselves into one large shape, and each fish has a specific position. One fish becomes the eye and the rest form the body. What stands out in this story is not that the fish are helping each other in a general way, it's that each one is doing a specific part and they're moving in coordination with the group. No one fish is doing everything, and they're not all doing the same thing. They're doing different parts that work together. But before you even start, set a simple focus for the child or children. Something like, while we read, I want you to watch what the fish are doing when they are together. So you're not asking for a discussion yet, just giving them something specific to look for. At the beginning, when the fish are swimming separately, you can pause and you can ask something like, what do you notice about how they're moving right now? Are they all doing the same thing or different things? What you want to do is you want to kind of keep it observational, and they don't have to interpret anything. When the larger fish appears and the group is no longer safe, again, pause briefly and then ask things like, what changed for the small fish? Or what might they need to do differently now? So you're helping them see that the situation requires a different kind of action. When Swimmy introduces the idea of forming one large fish, this is a key moment to slow down. So ask things like, what is Swimmy suggesting they do? And can one fish do this by itself? Then you can follow it up with, what would each fish have to do for this to work? So this shifts the focus to individual roles within a group. So another key moment is as they begin to form the shape, this is where you can pause again. What are the fish doing now that's different than before? Are they all in the same spot or different spots? And then you can add, what would happen if one fish didn't stay in place? So this helps them think about how one part affects the whole. And then this key moment, when Swimmy becomes the eye, you can ask them, oh, is Swimmy doing the same job as the other fish? Or why might that be important? So you're highlighting that cooperation does not mean everyone doing the same thing necessarily. And then after the story, you can keep the conversation simple. So maybe something like, what were the fish doing that helped them move together? Did they all do the same thing or different parts? And then you can connect it to their everyday world by saying something like, where do we see that in our day? So you don't need long answers here. You're just helping them make a connection. And basically you can give them an idea by saying, oh, you can see this same idea during parts of the day, like during cleanup or transitions or group activities. If every child is just doing something randomly, even if they're participating, it can feel chaotic. But when children begin to take on small parts or more in a coordinated way, the whole group functions differently. So here is a quick movement activity that you can do after the story as like an extension. And basically you can have children stand and try one of these things. And they're a quick experience. So first you can ask them to move around the space freely, not running, but just walking around. Then ask them to move together in one direction. And then you can direct them how you want them to be directed, which groups of children walk together, so on and so forth. And then afterwards, you can ask them what felt different about those two experiences. What did they have to pay attention to? So you keep it short, you keep it controlled, and this doesn't have to be a long activity, and basically just getting their idea and then bringing that back to the story and how might it have felt being one of those fish that made up the body, and how do they think it might have felt just being swimmy as well. So when you use a book like Swimmy this way, you're not just telling children to work together. So you're helping them notice what cooperation looks like while it's happening. It shows what happens when individuals start to function as part of a group instead of alongside of it. And that makes it much easier for when to recognize and use it during the rest of the day, making everyday moments like cleanup and transitions start to feel more manageable. So that is it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.